So, yeah, look at the shirt. So, y'all forgot. It's about the relationship with God and people. So, I was listening to Weekend and Willie's Cellulite podcast, and they were discussing, the relationship with God, the rules, what you should and shouldn't do, and what you should be afraid of, and all that. I, and as I'm listening to this, and in many cases with the Bible, they forget about the relationship with God, your own personal relationship with God, and it brought me back to last week. I was taking this white guy from Austin to San Antonio, because I'm an Uber driver. Yeah, you know, Uber driver. People ashamed to be let people know I'm an Uber driver. Yeah, I'm an Uber driver. It is what it is. So we had a long conversation, and one of the big things that he talked about is that having that relationship with God, that and he wasn't worried too much about the rules. He was worried about the relationship, and that in his experience, more people are worried about following the rules of God than actually worrying about getting the relationship with God. And I can attest to that because I've seen that a lot of times. Um, for me, that's why I don't claim to be a Christian. I don't claim to be a Baptist or nothing like that. Because my thing is, because I don't play with God. My relationship with God is really that I'm not going to play like I'm something I'm not. I'm not going to play to be a Christian. I'm not going to play to be a Baptist because I don't want anybody to think that when it's God or Jesus that they allow heathens to be around or people that don't follow the Bible. Okay. One of the songs that I love was by Kirk Franklin. I believe it's one of the best songs he ever made, in my opinion. The Last Jesus. And when he talked about how you may be the representative of Jesus that people see, and how they see you is how they're going to see God, how they're going to see Jesus. So I made my mission. No, I'm not Christian, not Baptist, nothing like that. Because I don't want your represent what you feel of Jesus or God through me. But I think a lot of people forget that. They forget about the relationship and how your relationship with God it shows and how you interact with people, how you preach the gospel, or I mean, let's take the Quran, Yahweh, with whatever God that you serve, how your interaction, how you view it, and how you preach it to people shows a lot about your relationship. Is it do you have comfort with your religion? Do you have comfort with God? Do you have comfort when you go into that Bible or that Quran or whatever book that everybody else got? And if you don't, if you're afraid, it's going to show. I remember I had a friend of mine, Bible thumper. I mean, he's so scared about the Bible, like I remember one time we were like, I even suggested a strip club. He was like, I can't go there. I can't go there. I can't. And one of my other coworkers was like, hey, we need to take so and so. I said, no, no, you don't. He gonna flip the fuck out. He gonna lose his shit. And part of it was the religion part. He's so scared of going to hell. I think the last conversation we had was like 4 or 5 months ago. He just called me on the rim. First, he called and told me he was getting married. He got married. He was getting married. Sorry, he's getting married to a woman in Thailand. Let that sink in for a second. He's going to Thailand to get married. Of course, I didn't say nothing. I said, hey, congratulations. Now, he never met the woman, never talked to her, no live chat or anything, but he's so convinced. And before I even tried to say, nah, that may not be a good look, he said, my other friend tried to talk to me, and I cut him off. I said, okay, well, I see how that gonna go. So hey, you got it. You got it. But then we get into like, aren't you scared to go aren't you scared to go to hell? You need to get right with God. Aren't you scared to go to hell? And I told him straight up, I will never join a religion where I am afraid of serving God. I want to serve him willingly. What do I look like serving him out of fear? And a lot of times I see that with people. You serving God out of fear. The idea is you have a relationship with God, and through that relationship, you want to willingly follow those rules. So it's reciprocal. He does for you, you do for him. You have a relationship. But a lot of times it's not a relationship. You're afraid. And how you preach it to everybody is out of fear, out of anger. As you know, fear begets hatred and anger. So you're going after people because they don't follow your religion, and you angry about it. That shows your relationship with God is not where it need to be. You're afraid. You're afraid of your religion. You're afraid of your God. That's a problem. Because you're either going to go insane or you're just going to renege. You got to think about your connection. And now the customer that I had was talking about this. He was a gay Christian. And I'm like, interesting. But he makes sense. He's like, I have a relationship with God. I have that connection. I'm not worried about following all the rules and stuff. It's, do I have a relationship with God? And I'm like, that makes sense. Do you have that relationship? Straight to the point. Sports, hey, how you been? How you been? I've been good. No, just living life. But here's the thing. Do you have that relationship with God? Does he be a comfort to you? Does that Bible, does that Quran, whatever you listening to, reading, listening to also, everybody got Bible on their phone at this point. Is it a comfort to you? And if it's not, maybe you need to think about what you're doing. Yeah, I'm good, man. Living life. Went to the doctor. Doctor like, we don't see much wrong. Other than you're too fat, but everything else is good. So I'm like, hey, shoot, that's all I need to hear. Oh, I ain't got diabetes. I'm good. That's the main concern. I work on the weight, but that diabetes, but fortunately, it's still not there yet. Back to what I was saying. What connection do you have with your God? Now, let's even not even take it with God. Let's take it with your with your ideology, because a lot of times God is just an ideology that you have. Your religion is an ideology that you have. Do you have a relationship with your ideology? Does it bring you comfort? Does it bring you peace? Because a lot of times when I hear people, the red pill, black pill, um, conservatives, these liberals, progressive, there's an anger and a bitterness. Like you're mad at the world for not being what you think it is. And for me, it's like, do you really have that? Does your ideology bring you comfort? Does it bring you peace? Do you have a relationship with your ideology? Does it bring you comfort and peace? That's what it should do. It should be like, I get it. This is how I need to live for me, not for my parents, not for my friends, for me, not for the neighborhood, not for the community, for me. If it doesn't bring you that, that's a problem. Why are you following your religion? Why are you following your ideology? Because that's the big question. Why are you following it? And every time you express it, you have anger, you have bitterness in your heart, and it shows when you're interacting with people. You see with the red pills how they interact with women. They angry at these women. You got a problem with your ideology. Your ideology is not bringing you peace. It's bringing you problems. But you have the women who, oh, I don't want to be around men. I want to be single. But every time you talk to these men, you're angry. You're bitter. Your ideology is not bringing you peace. It's bringing you problems because you don't want to follow it. You're doing it out of fear of what's going to happen to you. Fear of you trust this person. This person may harm you, take your money, might even take your life. If that ideology, if you're following it in fear, you cannot sustain it. You're going to be angry and bitter. I'm for everybody. Any ideology can work for anybody. That's why I'm not against the red pill, the black pill. I'm not against people who want to divest. I'm not against uh be, be patriarchy, matriarchy, progressives. I'm not against none of that. As long as your ideology brings you peace and comfort, that's all that should matter. And if it doesn't, if you got to come up here on the internet, against men, against women, against race people, then your ideology is not bringing you peace. You might need to change up what you're doing. Like I'm a black pillar, but my ideology brings me peace. I'm not going on channel after channel, raging on women, raging on men. Now, I let it out probably in the mirror more than I do on here. But at the end of the day, it does bring me peace and comfort. It's the life I chose to live. That's why I told my friend, I will never follow a God in fear. I will go willingly in love because it's supposed to bring comfort and peace. And if it's not bringing comfort and peace to you, no matter what the world is doing, then what you're doing. The same can be said with relationships. You know, everybody crying about. I remember there was a Facebook post that this man spent $20,000 in 3 years being with this woman, and then when he asked her to help him pay the mortgage, she said no, and he broke up. And he was showing her, I spent all this money on you. And my thing is, first of all, I wouldn't spend that money, $20,000 on a chick. Ain't doing that. Not in no 3 years. Ain't. I can guarantee you, the amount of money I spent on my ex-wife before she passed, still and was like 3-4 times as long as this relationship with this guy, and I guarantee you I spent less than $20,000. That's it, with insurance, paying for phones, helping her get a vehicle, paying for clothes, taking on trips, helping her get her medicine. I guarantee you I still spent less than $20,000. This guy never had a connection. He never had a relationship with this woman, and vice versa. The woman didn't have a relationship with him, because if you have a relationship with this person and you know this man has been treating you good, hey, no problem. Let me help you with that mortgage. Never build that relationship. You don't have no connection. And there was another post where this woman was like doing a test to see if her boyfriend will help her out with some bills, and he's just laying the bill out and just sitting there. And I'm like, why is she playing this game with a boyfriend? And this lady was like, well, she ain't playing no game. That's her boyfriend. I said, yeah, she's playing the game with a boyfriend. What are we, adults? We're adults, not children. Why are we playing these games? If you had that relationship with your boyfriend, you shouldn't even have to lay a bill on the table. You should come out and say, hey, man, I need help with these bills. I need help with these bills. I'm drowning here. And he'd be like, okay, if I can't get you the money, let me help you. Let's see what we can do about these bills. See, a lot of us don't build these relationships with people. And so you don't build no relationship. Now you gotta test people. I gotta test and see he gonna be faithful. I gotta test and see she gonna be loyal. What are we doing that for? What are we, kids? We grown ass people up in this bitch. But a lot of y'all test God anyway, because y'all do shit and you know that it's not safe, but you say, God will take care of me. All right, you have fun with that. So I gotta check, see if my food coming. Um, you don't need to be playing games with people. If you can't trust this person, you think that this person's gonna screw you over, why are you there? What kind of relationship y'all having in this world? You got to run tests on people? What are you, kids? You can't be your natural self. You can't be your authentic self. You can't talk about, hey, I got this bill here. Something wrong with you. Something wrong. What are you in this relationship for? You can't go to God? I remember one time my mother, she wanted her taxes done. And she wanted me to do it. I was like, well, Mama, why don't you let the church do it? I don't want them in my business. And I'm like, ain't that the church? That's where you're supposed to have a relationship with God? That's where God's people are at? You can't even go to them to do, you don't want them in your business? Where they got accountants so they can probably help you? No, I don't want them in my business. So what the fuck you there for? And I'm like, why are you at this church for? That's why I'm like, I got the fuck out of there. The church. I'm like, nah, I'm good. No, this ain't helping me. I and that at that time I was working night shift and I only sleep like 3 hours and then I got to go to church. And nobody trying to have a relationship with me. They just hey, you here and all that. And then complain about I'm on my phone where my Bible is, and then complain. Some of the women complain I'm not opening doors for you. Yeah, I ain't trying to build no relationship with God or with people. No, I'm good. Let me get up out of here. Well, I'm here. Gotta think about the relationship that y'all trying to build out here. What relationship you trying to build? And don't even take romantic. Let's friendships. So many people, I can see how y'all talk to different people, and it's like y'all don't have friends. You don't have nobody who you could talk to, vent to. Well, clearly you don't, because you're on here on the internet venting, losing your shit, talking, being with people that, in the grand scheme of things, you don't know. You don't know all these people. A lot of these people use y'all stories, use that fact that y'all trying to have a relationship with people, and use it against you. A lot of guys, like these guys who are trying to find, like, have companionship with men. You think, oh, these guys are gay. No, a lot of these guys are trying to have a companion, a relationship, friendships. They starving for it because they don't have it around themselves that understand what they're going through. Same with a lot of these women. Same thing. These people are not gay. These people are trying to have that relationship, friendships. But y'all confuse it with trying to have relations. And this is why y'all relationships don't go nowhere, because you all worry about relations. No, where's the relationship that you're supposed to have with this person? And here's the thing with these relationships, if you build them right, you will know that, hey, maybe I'm not the one for this person. Maybe I'm in the way of this person's way to get to where they need to go. You're blocking them. You're trying to fix someone. But if you have that relationship, you will understand, hey, I'm not the person to fix you. I'm not the person that's going to be the wife or be the husband to you. I need the best for our relationship is for me to back out. Get the fuck up out of here. But a lot of times, people's ego get in the way. Their ego get in the way. Their lust get in the way. Their pride get in the way. Like, gotta let that go. If you truly have a relationship with this person, then the first thing you need to understand is, hey, maybe I'm not the one for them. Like so many women talk about, well, this man, I waited 10 years, and then after he left me, he got married in 6 months. You didn't build that relationship. Because in that relationship, you should have been like, hey, listen, I want to be married. I don't want to get married. Okay, cool. Let me go somewhere else. I heard what you're saying. Look, clearly you ain't ready. I am. I got to go. I got to find somebody else. And you as a man should have been like, hey, listen, listen, I get it. You want to be married. I don't want to be married right now. I'm not ready. I'm not financially ready. I'm just not ready for that. So maybe I need to move on. And if the relationship is as strong as you built it to be, out of respect, yeah, they're going to be hurt. Yes, they're going to be angry, but they're going to respect you at the end. Like for me, I had to leave my ex-wife because I know I was losing respect for her. I already violated my vows to her by cheating. And I'm like, and the thing is, she didn't even know. But I said, if I could do this once, I could do it again. And I'm not about to do her this way. And I'm definitely not going to be going back and forth and do all that comeback, all that dumb shit. No, I'm not doing that. My brothers did that. It was fucked up then. It was still stupid now. And I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do that either. So I said, hey, look, I got to go. And she was angry. She was bitter. You know, I had to eat that though. Because at the end of the day, I did she do some fucked up shit to me? Yeah. And I ate that because I earned that. Did fucked up shit to her. But at the end of the day, it's about the relationship. Sometimes that relationship means you got to make the best decision for the person, other person. You got to know, hey, I'm not getting nothing out of it. I got to go. I'm spending $22,000 and I'm not getting no reciprocation. I'm doing all this stuff for this man, but I'm not getting no reciprocation. Never built a relationship. Y'all had relations. Some of y'all, that's where y'all want to leave it at, relations. Okay, yeah, you're gonna have relations. What's the problem? If you a woman celibate, but you know the man is still out there having sex. Now, even if he not out there like that, but he still want to have sex. Okay, you can still have the relationship, but you understand, hey, he gonna be out there banging. Cause this celibacy part, y'all trying to say, uh, well, that shows he could be monogamous. No, it don't. No, it don't. What that show? That don't show shit. Monogamy and faithfulness is two different things. Faithfulness is that faithful to whatever deal that you have. Monogamous means I'm just fucking you. You could be the monogamous and not faithful. There are a lot of dudes who monogamous. They ain't dropping. They're not going to woman, but they ain't faithful to the woman. And vice versa, the woman's not faithful to him because even though she's not screwing around, she talks shit about him, treat him like garbage, use his money. And when it's time for her to give her stuff, she ain't trying to give. Ain't no relationship. Ain't no loyalty. That's why, guys, we prefer loyalty over love. Loyalty is a choice. Love, these are feelings. That's eternal. That man don't have to do shit, and a woman will love him. But loyalty, the man has to do something to earn loyalty. You can have loyalty without love. I'm loyal to some of my supervisors, but I don't love them. But I'm loyal because they're good to me, because of what they've done. They've shown their leaderships. There are times where they could have got me fired, but they said, "Now let me talk to you. Now let me talk to you. Hey, listen, we close to getting rid of you, but I don't want to do that because I know you're a good worker, but you need to tighten up." And I'm like, "You're right." So that's why I'm loyal to them. But that's the relationship we built. Gotta understand the relationship you're building with people. You have to build a relationship. And then it goes back to even with God. You got to build a relationship with God. Because when I hear people talk about relationship with whether it's religion, whether it's relationship, even with friendships, clearly y'all don't build no relationships. Because I hear a lot of women, this guy wanted to date him. He was friends with him for a long time. Now he want to date him. And then she's like, no, and he cuts it off. Now she's mad. Oh, he just wanted to fuck. Like, did you build a relationship with this man? And you know in your heart of hearts that he was a good friend to you. So in your heart of heart, you should understand if somebody you got rejected, you don't want to be around this person like that. And sometimes it hurts that bad. They may have to separate from you. But that just shows that a lot of women are not friends to men like that. They don't have that relationship. It's take. They're emotionally taking, but when it's time for you to give and be understanding on. And then vice versa. The dudes were like being friends, and then he tried to have a relationship with him, and he feel like he's getting betrayed because he's like, I've been a friend to you now. You don't want to have relations with me. You don't want to have a relationship with me. You don't want to be my girlfriend. Why? Why you won't be with me? You know, that kind of dumb shit. Well, if you had that relationship, you would understand. Hey, maybe she's just not for you. Y'all would be terrible as a boyfriend and girlfriend, a husband and wife. You're better off being friends. It's not that difficult to understand. I gotta build a relationship with people, and that takes time. Sorry, it just takes time. And if you are afraid that this man gonna cheat on me, or this man he gonna put his dick in it, well, you can't control nobody no way. Oh, this woman gonna leave. She's gonna take half my shit. Well, you can't control nobody anyway. I couldn't control my ex-wife. She couldn't control me. I couldn't control the other girlfriend I had, and she couldn't control me. To me, I don't want a relationship. Y'all want control. Even over God, y'all want control. You want to dictate what you want to do and what you want to like. No, that's not how that goes. You build a relationship so it can give you comfort and peace. If you're afraid of the person next to you, well, you're afraid they're gonna leave. You're afraid they're gonna cheat on you. You're afraid they're gonna take all your money. You're afraid of well, everything. What the fuck you in there? Why are you around this person? Why are you in this religion? This ideology that you have is making you afraid of the world. Why you have the ideology for? You need to do something else. Gotta be thinking about what you're doing. Whether it's God, whether it's people, whatever. You're supposed to be building a relationship. Don't forget, it's about a relationship. Relationship with God. If you forget that it's about a relationship, instead of following the rules and all and afraid of going to hell or something like that, you missed the plot. You missed the plot. A lot of y'all missed the plot of relationships. Relationships supposed to be giving you, helping you get comfort and peace. Not satisfied, something broken inside of you. And if you're raging against other people, you're raging against someone who says something you don't like, stalking them and all kinds of shit, then your ideology, your relationships, it's not giving you no peace. And that's a big problem. That's why I said I don't play with God. I don't claim to be a Christian. I don't claim to be following Jesus. But I have my own relationship with them. And I don't serve them out of fear. I wasn't with my ex-wife out of fear of being alone. Listen, marriage was a bonus for me. I keep it a buck. Marriage was a bonus. But there are a lot of guys who get married because they don't want to be alone. You're afraid to be alone, even your last days. I'm sorry, I can't be with nobody. I'm afraid because I'm afraid. That's cowardly. Same with some of you women. You with a guy you can't stand, but you're afraid to be alone. You run into other race of men or women because you're afraid of your group of men. Something wrong. Same with the guys. Same thing. Like you're afraid of people. You're afraid of hell. Whatever. Something wrong. You miss the plot. You miss the goddamn. You miss the plot. It's about the It's about the relationship and how that relationship brings you the peace and comfort that you need, and how to navigate the world. You forget that. What you really doing? You're just here, and you're just suffering. Ain't nothing we could do for you. Ain't nothing you could do to help you. That's a personal thing you're gonna have to solve. But anyway, my food's about to get eat, and then get back to work doing Uber. Y'all have a good one. Peace.